Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Farewell, Cruel World. And this brought a kind of nice change of pace, getting us a little bit almost towards the end of the whole framework scenario, and just opening up some interesting possibilities. So the episode started out, and we kind of got up to speed with what was been going on in the real world, as it showed us putting Daisy and Simmons into the framework and then seeing what kind of things the crew had to go through. Like, it went 10 days back, so they've been in there for a little over a week, and they've had to pretty much shut off everything and figure out what to do to keep the power going to the framework device that they were using to jack into it, or stay in the air. Because they start turning off all non-essential stuff, and Yo-Yo makes the decision to turn off the cloaking, which of course leads the Superior to finding their position later on as they start getting fired upon. So then it goes back into getting us kind of caught up with what's going on inside the framework, showing all the unrest going on because of the broadcast that Coulson did, getting Daisy to meet up with Trip and everything, and hugging him, and he's like, oh, I don't really know you, but okay, we can continue that hugging later. And it was just really cool to see Daisy interacting with Trip again. So then Simmons updates Daisy on Ada's plan to make herself a body in the real world. It's like, okay, we really need to get out of here. So their main objective at that point is to pretty much get everybody that they can to the exit portal coordinates that Radcliffe has given Daisy. And we see all the characters kind of like dealing with what's going on. Of course, Mac is trying to leave, but Daisy's like, well, we've got a plan to get Madam Hydra, pretty much giving him a false narrative to get him to come with them. He's like, alright, I'll help you take out Madam Hydra and all that. So that one's locked away. Then we get to see, like, Coulson and May interacting and kind of getting them back to almost a normal rhythm, though May still doesn't believe the whole otherworld thing, because Coulson lays that out as they're talking about everybody looking at him, about all this stuff, him, like, doing the broadcast, you're famous and everything now. You're the face of the resistance. So, like, I'm more of a Shadows kind of guy. And seeing Coulson kind of more and more develop into the real world Coulson that we know. Telling her about, like, that this isn't the real world, that it's out there, and she's like, bull crap. So, of course, Simmons really wants to get Fitz into position, but she then starts figuring out stuff about, like, Fitz's father. Because she's talking with May and finds out that Fitz's father is alive in the framework, and that sets her on the path to going to see Fitz's father. And of course, Daisy's like, well, where's Simmons? And May just tells her point blank, oh, she went to Alistair's, Fitz for some reason. It's like, and you didn't tell me? I don't report to you in this world or whatever world you come up with. It's like, damn. May giving their, like, no slack whatsoever. It's like, crack. So then we get to see Simmons pretty much trying her best to engineer a scenario where Fitz will be able to be at the back door with them. And, of course, she's hitting Fitz's father, like, you poisoned him, you made him horrible, that he's a good man and everything. He's like, no, he's a great man, he's given me everything. What are you talking about? And she's got a gun pointed at him, pretty much getting him to call Fitz to... She wanted him to come alone, unarmed, and, of course, the father thinks, you're just going to kill him. And he, of course, says, the fugitive's here, and then we see Fitz listening to this as Alistair's trying to kill Simmons. And he's got her a nice chokehold, and then we hear the gunshot. We see that Simmons is the one that took out Alistair, and it's like, okay, this is going to be kind of strange. We're going to have to see how this is going to affect Fitz. He, of course, gets there with Radcliffe and everything, and really sets Fitz off. He's pissed off now, and he's like, I'm going to put a bullet in her skull. And, of course, Radcliffe is kind of, like, unnerved by this, because Fitz had come and pretty much given him the golden ticket, we can give you your body back, kind of thing, and give you immortality. And, of course, that's kind of how we think Radcliffe would be acting on this, ever since he got a hold of the Darkhold. This had been kind of his dream to, like, stop death and everything, that it would play into who he is. And it's interesting to see him trying to, like, play Fitz in his own way, since Ada has been psychologically manipulating him throughout the whole experience. So they start going off on their chase while Ada tries to get Fitz to come back because she's setting herself up to get created in the real world. And of course, she wants him to come back. He just goes dark and starts doing his own thing, and Ada does her own thing, and we see her body being constructed, which is really kind of creepy, but an interesting way that they did it, making the device essentially a 3D printer to 3D print a new body. Granted, that sounds outrageous, but who thought that we could 3D print other objects? It's just a nice kind of little thing that we are able to see, like, science fiction and science fact kind of like coming together with this creepy ass thing of making a robot into a real person. So while that's going on, we see everybody head off to the coordinates, and Daisy's kind of confused because Radcliffe made it seem that it was going to be a park, but it's actually an industrial complex. And we see this conversation going on with Fitz and Radcliffe as they're getting there as well. And he's like, I thought I put it in the park. And he's like, well, she's a step ahead of you, old man. And it's like, holy crap, she's changed it and everything. So we see everybody get in there. Mac's really confused and kind of pissed off that he was led here under false pretenses. Like, I don't believe that this is a fake world. And of course, everybody's kind of like confused, like, these are the coordinates. It should be right here. And it's in this, like, pot of molten steel. And it's like, how are we supposed to figure this out? Is it an illusion or whatnot? It's like, what? You can't be like Moses and part the Red Sea. And it's like, yes, I can. I'll quake it and see if it works. It's like, don't tell me you're going to hit me on a Bible verse. And it's like, holy crap. And then, of course, before they're able to get through all that, they get into it. We see that it is actually a portal. He's like, what the hell? He's kind of freaked out about that. And before they're able to, like, start doing their stuff, Hydra agents come in, of course, and start messing everything up. So we get a pretty cool gunfight, and we're getting ready to, like, start getting people into the back door when we see Coulson get shot out severely. I was like, holy shit. And of course, May jumps into her natural defense kind of mechanism, like, I gotta save Coulson. So she gets out there, and Coulson's like, just put me in there, I'll be okay. Leap of faith kind of thing. Follow me. Just follow my lead. Because she wasn't thinking that she would be able to do it. So they throw Coulson in, and he comes out in the real world, and it was kind of cool. He's like looking around, goes up to May, like, come on, May, follow me. And she does, and it's really cool to see them, like, back to themselves and seeing their relationship actually work even in the framework kind of scenario, and that May will follow Coulson. It's just that innate thing that they've built up together, and they're like, okay, we're good. And then, of course, we see Max still in the framework, and Coulson goes over, picks up a scalpel, says, it might not be your shotgun axe, but it'll do. And then he goes to work on Ada while they're still, like, making her up as we're seeing it built and everything. So then we get into the framework again, and Fitz comes in and pretty much gets Simmons at gunpoint, and of course she's trying to talk him down, but he's like, no, get on your knees. And she's like, no, I won't. So he shoots her in the leg, and pretty much wants her to say that Fitz means nothing to him, because she means nothing to Fitz. And it's like, holy crap, how's this gonna resolve? Because I saw a scenario that Fitz could kill Simmons, and if he got out of the framework, that would destroy him. So we see that Radcliffe comes in, knocks out one of the guards, and pretty much forces Fitz to go back into the real world, which was kind of cool. He wasn't buying the immortality thing. This is his problem. He even says that the Darkhold corrupted his mind because Fitz had told him that the whole machine was part of the Darkhold. It's like, I wanted to do something good. It's all my fault. Let me rectify this. Throws Fitz in. Pretty much helps Simmons as well, saying, listen, help him with this. It's all my fault. And then, of course, she gets out as the plane is getting hit by all the fire from Ivanov's fighter coming after him. So then we get to an important scene between Daisy and Mac, because she's trying her hardest to get Mac to go through the doorway and everything, because the first person to go through it showed that it was a fake reality, and Mac knows this at this point. He's like, well, what about my daughter on the other side? She's not alive. And Mac's like, she might not be real or whatnot here, but I can't live without her. We've done all these things. So Mac elects to stay. It's kind of, you can see why he would, because Mac's been kind of beaten down these last couple seasons to a point where he doesn't really see the good that's in front of him with like Yo-Yo and all the people around him. Yeah, he's lost some stuff and he's had to deal with some crazy shit, but at the end, the team has been there for him, and Yo-Yo's been there for him, and it's weird to see him, well, not weird, it's understandable that you want this reality with his daughter, because that is a big, painful loss for him. But sometimes you gotta come to terms with those losses and move forward, so we'll have to see what happens with Mac, because he's still in the framework at this point, because Daisy leaves without him, gets out just as like another hit goes at the Quinjet, and you're like, oh crap, Daisy's down. She's like, no, we're okay. Alright, we gotta figure out how to get through this. And of course, Fitz is in the real world at that point, and he's like freaking out for what he's done, killing Agnes and killing Mace and all that I'm a bad person. And Coulson's trying to talk him down from that, because he's been psychologically manipulated and messed with in a very invasive and disgusting kind of way. And granted, you would perceive your realities as real, but it's like, listen, you were forced into those choices by having your memories and your actions rewritten to fit her reality, what she wanted you to do. So, it'll be cool to kind of see how Fitz deals with this going forward. Now, what happens is we see Ada wake up and gasp and come in and emote and act like, I'm so happy. Fitz, feel my heart, feel my skin, feel me, I'm alive, I'm real and everything, and just so happy. And it was interesting seeing her display all these different emotions, and Fitz being just confused as fuck, to be honest with you, because I think he had more of a father-daughter kind of relationship in regards to Ada, more than, of course, lovers. And being thrown in the framework and having that kind of attraction, well, not attraction, but that relationship twisted like that, it's gonna mess with me. He's like, oh god, and May's like telling him to get out of the way so she could shoot her. And then we also see that what Coulson had done was taken a scalpel and chopped off Ada's head. Now, that works into what's going on, but you really have to hate someone to be like, you know what, I'm gonna cut your head off with a scalpel. And this didn't have any effect to Ada's downloading, at least that we can see at the moment. Because I don't know how long it took Coulson to chop her head off with a scalpel, but there should have been some kind of glitches or something that could possibly be going on within Ada. Now granted, there's also the scenario that we don't know what would happen with an AI being transferred to a human body, because there's emotions, there's hormones, there's all kinds of biological things that, like, an AI has no comparable data to process. So that's going to be huge. So we're seeing them kind of play this out, and before May can shoot Ada, she pulls a Nightcrawler and somehow disappears. That's kind of the exciting part. What was she able to code into her human body to be able to do this? Is it an inhuman body? What kind of powers does she have? Because, I mean, that's a big thing to do. To just grab Fitz and then disappear. It's like, holy shit, Fitz is still captured at the moment. We gotta see what's going on. It's like, holy crap. So, that's kind of where we've left everybody at this point. We see Mac go back, and Trip had been taking care of Hope, and just seeing Mac talk to Hope and say that they had pretty much gone like the Wizard of Oz to Kansas, and we can't really go there. And just seeing Mac left there, it's gotta be interesting to see how they're gonna be able to get him out. If they're able to get him out. He could be another casualty once we see what's going on. And I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that. How May and Coulson are going to be able to get out of Ivanov's lair and everything, since he's probably going to still be in his robot form. But Ada could have possibly rewritten his coding in there to be able to harm Coulson and May. Or since they're outside the framework and possibly working to destroy it at this point, he could be like, alright, they're a threat, so we can take them out. So that's the exciting stuff, building to the season finale that's probably going to be pretty intense, because Ada is now human, has the processing power of an AI possibly, because if she can input superpowers, she could probably input anything within that body. And that is scary, and Fitz is just... It'll be interesting to see what her plans are for Fitz now that he's got two warring sets of memories to, like, battle through, though it does look like his real world is more taking over and trying to beat that out to see if Ada can try and even pull the framework stuff out of there. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.